That is a vivid image.
It's brutal.
For your portfolio. Use that for your retirement savings. You get an understanding of why we don't invest our clients' monies in that way.
Somewhere I have slides, I think from Scottish Widows, that show it's like $1,000 or £1,000 because it's in the UK invested every year. If you'd gone into you invested at the start of the year for the fund that was going to be top the next year. Impossible to do. Mm-hmm. But if you had like the almanac in Back to the Future 2 that could predict the future, if you were able to invest in next year's top performing fund, what would happen to that £1,000? And it's like crazy money, monopoly money. Not even monopoly money, just crazy money. The flip side to that is, and this is what people can do and do. If you take £1,000 and you had invested it at the end of that calendar year in that year's top performing fund, what would you do to your £1,000? So okay, we're at the end of 2024. This fund XYZ was the top performing fund. I invest it all in XYZ, and so on and so forth. And you basically decimate your $1,000. Complete decimate your $1,000.
Yep, and that's not what people want to hear, right? People want to hear, oh, you have the answer. This fund outperformed this year, and that means it's going to do that next year. Tech was huge in 2023 and 24, so certainly in 25 it'll continue. Not the case.
Do you know where the word decimate comes from?
It was Roman legions, or
yes. Have I told you this, or is that,
I feel like
just pulled that?
You know what? We're going to credit my encyclopedic knowledge, but anything Roman related, we can rest assured, Rich, you probably taught me at some point.
This is one of the ancient punishments in the Roman legions. This is like Crassus. This is Spartacus's time and earlier. Was when you were punishing a legion, they had this punishment called decimation, and you would pull out lots. There'd be 10 people in a lot, and you pull out lots. Whoever got the short straw, the other 9 had to beat them to death. That's that was punitive punishment. So it didn't happen that often. When it did, you've decimated 1 out of 10, and they'd have to be killed by their own fellow soldiers.
That is a vivid image for your portfolio. Use that for your retirement savings. You get an understanding of why we don't invest our clients' monies in that way.
So just to wrap up here, we're having a wobble. I actually think this is a good. I'm not enjoying it, but I actually think it's a good thing. It's a positive thing in the grand scheme of things. We're only 2 years into this bull market. We do not want it to come to a premature end or go out with a bang. Things did get a bit silly after the election, frankly, and I think part of it's like gambling. People now, I think there's a whole cohort of new entrants to the stock market who have been kind of schooled on Robinhood and the new gambling, who treat stock market investing like gambling. And it's great that people are more invested and more engaged, but my experience has told me that ends in tears.
Yeah,
but also it ends in important lessons being learned. So
there's something to be said for accessibility, right? Which no one can argue. I mean, the stock market as a whole, or investing, is as accessible as it's ever been, right? And likely will continue to open up in that way, which is great in a lot of respects, but in other aspects, especially fallout from COVID and that kind of sort of, again, this idea of speculative trend chasing. I don't know if we've seen yet the impact. It will be years and years that people will be studying this from a sort of behavioral finance perspective of what does that do to markets during corrections? What does that do during downturns? How do those kind of what you might call retail investors react under changing market circumstances? Everyone feels like an expert when they're picking stocks in a massive bull run. If that trend turns around, what happens?